Hey everybody, it's Kevra. That's me, I'm Kevra, and this is exciting because not only did we get a new look at the 7 boards in Mario Party Jamboree, but we also got a bunch of confirmations. Like, Pauline is a playable character? Confirmed. Retro Minigames returning? Confirmed. The broken ally system returning from Super Mario Party? Confirmed! Wait, what was that last one? Nintendo just released a new website for Super Mario Party Jamboree. Now, they released it in Japanese. There is no English version yet, but I used Google Translate, so there is a mixture of English and Japanese. Like, as you can see right down here, we've got Shugaruko Island. I probably butchered the hell out of that, but yeah, so it's kind of like this mixed bag, and some things aren't really translated that well. By the way, that basically means board or board game, so it's Board Game Island essentially. But yeah, they released a lot of new information on this site. In fact, there's multiple sections to the site, because if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, that page that I just scrolled down, that's the first section. And each of these sections is kind of really about different areas within the game world map. Like, if you look right here, there's the overhead map, and as you can tell, this first section that we kind of just skimmed over really quick, that's the northern part of the map. That's where all the board maps are. The southern part is the Bowser mode. That's why it's purple over here. The east section, that's Minigame Harbor. That's to the right, this little highlighted island over here. And then the coming soon, I've already figured that out. That's clearly the left section, which a lot of people are assuming it's going to be the rhythm mini games, the motion controls, like that kind of like gameplay. And then these other sections, they're kind of useless. They're this one's just a trailer for the Nintendo Direct that was a couple months ago. So it's the trailer we've already seen. This section right here, it's just mini games. In fact, we'll go ahead and take a look at it, because most of the mini games that they preview are brand new mini games. And the reason I say most of them are brand new is because there are retro mini games that are returning in this game. Like I said, most of this page only shows us the brand new stuff, but so far I've seen that one mini game where they've got that giant rock and you're trying to run away from it. That's, I think, in Mario Party 7, maybe Mario Party 6. And then they've also got Free Throw from Mario Party 4. They've also got some returning games from Superstars, but that's tied to a very specific board mechanic. We'll get into that in a little bit, but there's the Mario Party 4 minigame that I was talking about. So clearly, they did remake some minigames for this game. Now we're gonna go ahead and keep on scrolling. I'm gonna go over these two sections really quick, but I really want to talk about the gameplay, the boards, and some of the mechanics or things that we've discovered through this site, because to me, that's the most important part of Mario Party. But real quick, we're just gonna look at the online Bowser mode, and it seems to be that there's at least 2 modes over in this section of the hub world map. They're calling it Bowser Challenge Island, and then there's 2 modes to choose from. The Coupathlon, which we already kind of saw a preview of and they talked about. This is the competitive one where you go up against like 20 other people. And then they also have Bowser Busters, where it's a co-op, where it's like kind of like Mario Party 7 a little bit, but not quite. It's basically 8 people working together to defeat Bowser in a crazy amount of mini games. So yeah, that seems interesting. Not really my cup of tea, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to Minigame Harbor. And again, just like I predicted in one of my earlier videos, this is the hub for the minigame stuff. Actually, really quick, I do want to go back to the Bowser thing, and because I want to talk about the characters. So yeah, if you didn't notice, Pauline right there, she is a playable character in Super Mario Party Jamboree. And then if you go back to the minigame section, you're going to notice that 3 of the characters that some people were like, well, maybe they're playable too, because we saw them like on the island, which were Lakutu, Boom Boom, and Pom Pom. People thought that they were going to be playable characters. They're not playable characters. They are the hosts of the Minigame Harbor. That's why you see them guiding the other characters along in a 2v2 or Lakutu Again, they're doing some sort of challenge mode. He's kind of, oh, there's the minigame that I was talking about, the one where the ball is rolling towards you. I think that's from Mario Party 7. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, each one of those guys is going to be a different host for a different mode. They say there's 5 modes, which kind of makes sense. You know, you got your one dock here, one dock here, one dock here, one dock here, one dock here. So that's 5, right? But as I pointed out in an earlier video, there's like boulders in here that make this seem like it's some sort of unlockable mode. Even though they say there's 5 courses to choose from. But it sounds like there's actually going to be 6, almost like the game, the website for the game is lying to us. Now you could say, oh, well, maybe that middle section is just where like you come in and you're greeted and all that kind of stuff. But no, because if you scroll all the way over, it's clearly that middle dock right there. So yeah, all 5 of those docks is a different mode. And then there's probably a 6th unlockable mode right inside of here. Unless, of course, it's something really stupid like a museum of collectibles or something like that. But I don't think so. I think if that's going to be anywhere, it's going to be on that center island for where you start off, because otherwise you have to like pick a character, pick computers to go against, then journey to this island just to pick that you want to go in this little side area museum. That makes no sense in my mind. So that is very likely a 6th mode that they are not telling us about. And that information is going to come into play a little bit later. And if you know me and you know my videos, you probably know why. So anyway, those are the little things that I wanted to go over. Now let's go over the main part, the meat and potatoes of Mario Party. Now, before I start talking about the boards themselves, there are 2 specific board mechanics that I want to talk about, starting with the item system, because as you can see, there are 37 different items in this game. Now, if that sounds like a lot, that's because that is the most we have ever had in a Mario Party game. The second most we've ever had is in Mario Party 7 with 29 different items. Now, you may not kind of count that because of the fact that 6 of them were specifically geared towards different characters, but I mean, it sounds like that's going to be this way in this game too, because as you can tell, some of them change the area itself. And if we go down here, we can see that this little Wiggler bell that's specifically for Wiggler's Tree Party, that board, it's gonna make the Wiggler boot. In fact, we can go all the way up here and see that demoed right in here. But yeah, so clearly there is a lot of different items in this game. Some people are going to absolutely love that. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's fantastic news. I'm so happy to hear that. The more items, the merrier. I'm not someone who really subscribes to that personal theory. There's the bell right there. And as you can tell, it's moving the Wiggler around. But, you know, Superstars only had 16 items, and I thought it was an excellent item selection because it was mostly movement-based, aside from like 1 or 2 other things that were really easy to explain to someone who's brand new to the game. Because oftentimes when I'm playing like a Mario Party, like especially in the GameCube era, where there's so many different capsules that do so many different weird things, and I'm constantly having to explain to everyone like this one does this, and sometimes I don't even remember them because there are so many. Like I said, Mario Party 7, it had 29 different capsules. I can't remember what they all specifically do, but the Superstars item system was very, very easy for newcomers to understand because a lot of it was movement based. So this is kind of one of those things where I'm like, okay, more options is kind of good, but it's also going to be kind of a bit more of a headache, again, when you're playing with brand new people. So it's a good and a bad thing, in my personal opinion. I do like a lot of the item. I don't like the fact that they brought the chain chomp back. I kind of hate that one. This one basically warps you to the shop, which I think is kind of an awesome one. It's a little bit like the cellular caller in Mario Party 3, where you could call up the shop, and you could either call up Toad Shop or Baby Bowser Shop, and then order an item. But this one actually just takes you to the shop, so it's really like, do I want to warp all that way? Heck, maybe you don't even want to buy an item. You just want to go there because it's going to bring you closer to a star, perhaps, which I think that's actually a pretty cool item, unless of course that is a mistranslated thing. This one will just warp you anywhere. So if you just don't like where you're at, it's just move somewhere. I don't know where I'm going. I think that's actually a really cool item. I kind of wish that they had that in earlier games, because that seems like it's going to be really fun. It could be terrible, but especially if you get it and you don't actually want it and it's just taking up an item slot, but the only way to get rid of it is to use it. So I may not end up liking that, but for right now, I kind of like that. As you can see, they brought back the dueling glove, which means there are in fact dual mini games in this game, which I kind of assumed that they were going to be, but they took them away for, I think, Mario Party 9, and then they didn't bring them back again until Superstars. So it is one of those things where it's like, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. I personally like them. I'm glad that they are bringing them back. But yeah, so there's a lot of different items in this game, and it sounds like there's going to be, again, specific items, like not just the Wiggler thing, but also with that seashell that is right here. I already saw a video, and I can't remember which one it was. I was looking for it just a minute ago, and I couldn't find it, where someone uses that seashell in a video. And, oh, actually, that's a good... So you can see right there, the island tide changes, and I'm wondering if the seashell will, since they say, some of them change the area itself, if on Goomba's Lagoon, that you're going to blow with a seashell, and then by the end of the turn, after the minigame, that's when the tide comes in after you use the seashell. Or maybe, that's the only way to make the tide go away, is by using that seashell, and you make the map the original form. Which I think is, again, probably something that's pretty cool. It could be bad. It could be like one of those things where it's like, ugh, I have to go get the seashell to change everything, and blah, blah, blah. It's really annoying, kind of a hassle. But right now, I'm going to be very optimistic about that, which is... As optimistic as I'm sounding right now, there is one thing, which is right here. The other thing I want to talk about before I start talking about the boards. A lot of you guys said that there weren't going to be allies in this game. A lot of you guys said, Kevra, they're not bringing back allies. There's clearly no allies on the board. Clearly, they're not bringing them back. They brought them back. They brought back allies from Super Mario Party. Now, they work differently. They don't work the same way that they did in Super Mario Party, but considering how much I hated them in Super Mario Party, the fact that they brought something that resembles that ally, the Jamboree friend, which is basically, again, it's an ally, it worries me a whole lot. This could possibly be something that just absolutely breaks the game for me personally. So we'll just read a little bit here. A friend who helps you Jamboree friend. I don't know if they just misspelled this. It's a bad translation, but a Jamboree friend, we'll call them, because that word just looks weird. That sometimes appears somewhere while you are playing. Basically, there's going to be a character that appears on the map, right you can see Mario just drop down on the balloons. He's like, hey everybody, I'm here. Then Toad goes over there. He's like, hey. Mario gives him some coins, and then after that, a battle mini game starts, but it's not for coins. It's for the character. So, as you can see, they're doing Leaf Leap. They've also done Bumper Balls, and they also do Shy Guy Says, again on that minigame page. And basically, the 4 player characters play with Mario, and whoever wins gets Mario, or whoever, again, the character is, because it doesn't have to be Mario. And so you get the ally based on that minigame, which means whoever's really good at minigames is probably going to get him, which means they're probably going to be OP, because here's what happens when you have this ally. Just by being together, you can get 2 events that occur on the square, and 2 shop items and stars at the same time. However, when something bad happens, it hurts for 2 people. So basically, they're saying that, oh, if you want to go to the shop with your little partner ally guy, yeah, guess what? You can buy 2 items because you're buying one for your ally, I guess. I don't know. That's really weird. Yay, he gets the mushroom. And like, oh, hey, because you got an ally, go ahead and pick something else out. And so he goes ahead and gets the warp pipe. And Mario's like, yeah, we can double team on these guys. And it's like, what? And then you can also get 2 stars. You can pay 40 coins to get 2 stars at the exact same time. And I don't... It seems like one of those things where it's just going to break the game. Just like how allies broke Super Mario Party, because you'd be running around, you'd be like have such an advantage over everyone else because of the fact that you get so many allies, and that makes you like get so many more. I'm not gonna really talk about why it's broken in Super Mario Party. You guys probably know why it's broken in Super Mario Party. But yeah, if you've got this ally, and I don't know, how long you keep him. I was talking to someone who thinks it's going to be a temporary thing, like, something goes away after like a few turns, kind of like like you use it, you lose it item kind of a situation. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. I hope that's the case, but it just sounds like this. It's frustrating because it makes a person seem so OP, especially if they have this ally character for the rest of the game. They're already doing well, then they kick your ass in a mini game because they're the best at mini games, and so now not only is the person like that's the most skill based had this advantage because they're winning like mini games over you, but now they also have this extra person to get extra items, to get extra stars, and to have double good things happen to you. The one thing that I'll say that kind of balances out is, like I said when I was reading this earlier, however, when something bad happens, it hurts for two people. So again, if you have Mario as your ally and something bad happens, you get double the negative effects. So if there's something like you go to Boo and you can steal 2 stars from the guy who has Mario as an ally, that kind of balances it out. That makes it a much more fair and balanced mechanic. If you can't do something that drastic, if it's just like you land on a red space and now you get -6 coins, or something very stupid and like that that's really not much of an inconvenience, then I feel like this is going to just be a terrible thing, and I hope you can turn it off, because honestly, again, this just kind of seems like it's gonna ruin the game a little bit. Now, again, I could be wrong on that. Once I start playing it, it could be something really great. There are lots of other good things that I am seeing about this game. One of which is the fact that we might have more than 7 boards. And the reason I say that is because when you go up here and you look at this particular map right over here, I did a board analysis that said there's maybe 8 to 10 boards, like looking at this kind of particular map, saying that, maybe there's a board here, maybe there's a board over here, blah, blah, blah. But then again, maybe there's not. Maybe Mario Rainbow Castle will have a bridge that takes you from all the way over here to all the way over here. Maybe this little crack in the wall will take you to Bowser's Keep or something like that, blah, blah, blah. But look at this image. All the boards are finished. Bowser's Keep, finished. Western Land, finished. Mario's Rainbow Castle, finished. And there's just this blank patch of dirt sitting there, doing absolutely nothing. There's a ladder that still goes up to nowhere, even though all the boards are supposedly unlocked. There's still a crack in the wall for no apparent reason at all. So I'm just seeing this image makes me think that, yeah, there's going to be more than 7 boards. Now, could it be through DLC? Maybe that's even what this coming soon section is down here. It's just, eventually they're gonna have DLC that you can add on to the game and blah, blah, blah. But I've always been against the idea for DLC just because it seems like a weird move to do DLC because it's the Switch's last year. Like we all know, the next console is coming out sometime next year, and so they're gonna release DLC for the first time for a Mario Party game right before the next gen console comes out. Like that, I mean, by the time they release the DLC, I guarantee they will have announced the next console already. And it could be DLC. Like, and don't get me wrong, I am not 100% against the idea that these little spaces are DLC. I'm not 100% against the idea that, oh yeah, there's some sort of museum in here and you're gonna be able to see like the storyboards for all these maps or something like that, or there's going to be some weird statue where if you beat the story mode of the game, it's like just like this little, like, again, some trophy to decorate the boards. But that would be so weird because, again, this section is for the boards. And it felt like if you had something like that, it would probably go on that little star island right here in the center. Like, it wouldn't go where all the freaking boards are. So I do think that this implies that there's at least 2 other boards. One that's possibly right here, one right here, maybe even 3, where there's one right here, and one right here. But again, that just seems like a lot, and that's why I do wonder if it could be DLC. Now, I know there are going to be some people out there who say, no, hey, look at the freaking site. It says 7 areas full of shikake. Shikaka. I don't know. I don't speak Japanese. I don't know. I am probably nowhere near saying that correctly. I apologize. But yeah, they say 7 areas, and then they even say like there are 4 of them, and then 3 others will be like released under certain conditions. Blah blah blah. It's clearly there's 7. They keep saying 7 over and over again, and that's the one reason why I'm thinking maybe that is DLC. Maybe these other areas, you know, they say 7s in the game repeatedly over and over and over again because of the fact that the other boards are DLC. But then there's also this part in my mind where I'm like, this isn't the first time, guys, where they've advertised a lesser amount of boards than what's actually in the game. Here's a quick trailer for Mario Party 1.
Welcome to Mario Party, where you and 3 friends battle it out all night long, with 6 adventure boards and 50 mini games.
Yeah, did you hear the part where he said 6 adventure boards? There's 8 adventure boards in Mario Party 1. Now, you might say that, oh, well, that's just the exception to the rule because that was the first game. Here's a commercial for Mario Party 2.
It's time for Mario Party 2, rated E for everyone, with 5 new adventure boards and 64 mini games.
Yeah, that part where he said there's 5 new adventure boards, that's wrong, there's 6. They just didn't tell you about the 6th hidden unlockable board. And so maybe that's what they're doing here. I'm not saying that that's exactly what they're doing here, but there's precedent for it. And again, as I pointed out, that minigame harbor area, as I said earlier in the video, they said 5 little areas of like minigame playing, but we know that there's probably a 6th one based on those rocks that are blocking that pathway. And you know, especially right here where it's like, you know, if there was just one little area, I might be on board with like, oh yeah, no, there's no more boards. Like, you know, it's just this little crack in the wall. It's just gonna lead you to something. But the fact that we have this here and a ladder that goes up to nowhere, I'm just like, there's no way it's that much decoration. Like, there's no way that they're just putting a whole bunch of other weird stuff like around the board. And then this empty beach area too. Like, this empty beach area is the one place where I'm like, maybe, okay. But you know what? Let's just go ahead and shelve that for a moment because I want to look over all these videos that basically go over each board, and each video shows us a little bit something new. Now, we already kind of went over the Wiggler one, and it was really just that bell and like the honey game over here. So I'm like, I don't think we really need to look at that one again. This one I thought was really cool because there's like something mysterious and ominous, like there's something that bad like could happen to you. Maybe it's a Bowser car of some sort. I don't know. And then they got the Koopa giving you 10 coins every time you head back to start, the classic Mario Party 1 thing. You got the Donkey Kong getting the turbo dice, and they're working on his car even though they don't actually do anything, it looks like. But yeah, so this one I don't think is as impressive. It kind of reveals almost all information that we knew, except for if you go over there you get the turbo dice, and then also there's a mysterious car burning over there that I'm assuming is a Bowser board, or a Bowser car, I should say. And then for Goomba's Lagoon, this confirms my theory about like you slide down those things to get to another island. A lot of other people said that though too. I may have not even actually said that in one of my videos, but yeah, I think the big takeaway here is the fact that yeah, not only is like that happening space going to take you from island to island, but like I said and I predicted in a video, it's not just golden Goombas that come out of that volcano. It's also peekaboos, which are basically just like little balls of hot lava. And and it looks like they're gonna take 3 coins away from you if you pass it or land on it. It's in Japanese, so I can't really tell. I just saw the number 3, so I think that's good that it could be both a good or a bad thing because I like balance. So that just looks really cool. The Rainbow Galleria thing, they confirmed what those stamps, how they're going to play, and like, basically what the effect is of them. So you go around, you collect all 4 stamps, and then you're gonna get 50 coins for it, which is something that I'm like, that's a lot of coins just for going around and collecting stamps. Now the good thing is, it's gonna probably take like half the game to like go around that board, or like maybe 7 turns. I feel like it usually takes around like, you can go around the entire board for a lot of maps like 3 times, and so that's probably what it's going to be about here. But still, that's a lot of coins to give for someone for just passing 4 different locations, unless you can take stamps away. If there is some sort of balance like that where you can, you know, again, like destroy someone else's stamp card, or do something like that, that would be great. But we already got a clearance sale going on here, so I don't know. This board is just, I know everyone else is looking forward to it, but this is the one where I'm just like, I don't think it's going to be as great as everyone else thinks. That's the one I'm actually looking forward to the least. This looks really cool. So basically, it's Bowser surrounded by this giant conveyor belt, and this is kind of what the King Bomb Bomb powder keg from Super Mario Party, like this is what it should have been. Like people are like, oh, that Super Mario Party is not that bad. It's got the powder keg and it's got a conveyor belt, and that's really cool. I'm like, no, it's not. It's really lame. Like this looks cool. Like this looks awesome. I can already see people like hating on it because it looks like there's not a lot of different like pathways, and so maybe people are upset about that. But like I don't really care. I like, you know, boards that are a little bit more linear and simple. Like, because for me it's always about the mechanic. It's not about the different paths I can take. It's always about what the mechanic is, and the fact that Mario's got another specific item that's specifically for this board, and it's gonna change the direction of the conveyor belt. I think that's really cool. I don't know really what's going on with the little Mecha Koopas, but that could possibly be cool. There's all Bowser spaces. Freaking love that. Love the evilness of Mario Party. Bring that on. I am now looking forward to this board. Before I didn't know anything about it. Now I'm like, yeah. Mario's Rainbow Castle. This shop switches like depending on if it's gonna be Toad or Bowser, which I already saw another video that theorized that, because like the roof is both red and purple on that shop. It was like a little tiny detail that most people missed. I love this. I love the fact that it turns like dark, like this whenever Bowser takes over, and it's just like more ominous. But I will say I worry about what Bowser's gonna do. Like, is he just gonna take 10 coins from you? Or is he going to take 40 coins like in the original Mario Party? Like, I'm hoping at the bare minimum he's taking 20 coins from you, especially if it's a board you have to unlock, which means it's probably going to be more difficult than the other boards, as opposed to, you know, Rainbow Galleria, which is like, oh, just have 50 coins for getting 4 stamps. So I'm hoping it sticks to 40 coins. I guarantee it won't. Or he takes a star away from you. That would be awesome. I love it when Bowser takes stars from people. So yeah, because it makes it so much more risky. Just like Castaway Bay, I liked that Bowser would take a star away from you in Castaway Bay. So I'm looking forward to this, unless of course Bowser just is a terrible threat, where it's just like, okay, you really freaking nerfed him, and now the original version is so much better to play, even though it doesn't have items. Western Land. Again, with the item spaces, I already covered that, or not the event spaces in front of the Hootenanny. I covered that in a different video, so it definitely looks like that's what sets off the Hootenanny. And then the thing that I think is very interesting about this board is the fact that it's no longer you go forward or backward in the train, because you watch right here where Wario's going not just 1 train away, but 2 trains away. Train stations. So now you can go forward or backward, like it says right here, like above Toadette, where it showed the little backward symbol and just showed her plowing into other people. But now you can go like maybe we're definitely 2 train stations away. Maybe you can do a full circle and just go like 3 and hit everybody on the tracks, like every single person that's on the tracks, because it just goes from where you start, like all the way around back to where you got on. Like, that would be awesome to me. I don't know if they're going to do that, but it is really cool that it's not just forward or backward, but you can actually go 2 different spaces. It looks like it's still on a roulette. Well, I shouldn't say still. Before it was, I actually do really like this improvement also because if you remember originally, you had no choice. You hit a little box and then it would either be forward or backward. And there was no timing to it. It was just predetermined, unfortunately. This looks like it's on a roulette. And so it could be whenever you push A. Now, it's probably going to be extremely difficult to time, but I don't mind that. As long as I have the input and I get to do it, like I'm the one who chose it by pushing A, even if I screwed up and did it wrong, even if it goes too fast for me to know. It's just like rolling a dice. Like people will always be like, oh man, this game's screwing me. I keep rolling low. You keep rolling low. You keep pushing A, and that determines specifically when you go, except for Mario Party 1. Those dice rolls are predetermined, which I'm not a big fan of. But other than that, it's always about you. It's always about when you push A. Even if it's not skill-based, it is still determined on your input. So anyway, I'm really psyched and looking forward to this game. Again, my gigantic concern at the moment is the Jamboree buddy. I'll translate it again. So now it's all in Japanese. But anyway, yeah, I am very concerned about the whole Jamboree buddy system. That's my one big thing where I'm like, this could absolutely break the game. This could absolutely make me go, I don't know if I want to play Jamboree. Like, I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna play it and I'm gonna play it. Like, I mean, I still play Super. I don't like Super, but I still play it every once in a while because maybe somebody else wants to play it, or I just haven't played it in a really long time. So like, no matter what, I'm going to buy and play Jamboree. So no one be out there be like, oh, he's just shit. No, he's not gonna buy it. I don't like it. No, like I'm going to get this game. I'm just worried that this is gonna be one of those things where I'm just like, it makes no sense in this game, and it's too OP and it's too broken, and it makes me enjoy it so much less that I rather play a lot of the other Mario Parties over this game. I'm hoping that's not the case. Again, I'm hoping I can, like, if you have a little buddy, you can, also, I didn't mention this earlier, but I think since everyone's going against each other, even Mario, the NPC, I feel like if Mario wins, nobody gets him. And I like that aspect, especially if he's like on a harder difficulty. I doubt that's the case, but that would be actually really cool in my opinion. It's just the fact that nobody gets him. And, oh yeah, so you get the -3 coins from the Pikachu. What? I don't know why he just clicked. Oh, so you get the double effect. Yeah, so yeah, he gets -6 coins if you just saw that right there. Luigi hit the Peekaboo. Well, no, but there's also a red space. That's a little bit weird. I don't know. Anyway, there's just so much you can go over. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of details that I missed, and that's why I'm really curious as to, you know, what you guys saw, even if it wasn't in this video, but you guys looked through the site yourself. Maybe you speak Japanese and you know, like, some things that other people don't know because of the fact that you have that edge where you can, translate some things that were mistranslated, as opposed to me, who's just like, can't pronounce any Japanese word, unfortunately. So yeah, let me know all that down in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe, and until next time, I'll catch you later.